Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress Leah Harvey with me. So welcome, Leah.
Thanks. Hi.
Welcome again. We were kind of talking off camera.
We were having a chat and it was nice because we were getting rid of our nerves.
That's right. That's right. Now we're very relaxed and
Yeah.
we can handle whatever comes next.
Should have made a cup of tea.
Oh, shoot. I made a what?
I should have made a cup of tea.
Oh, you totally should. If you're in London, that's obvious. You know, the American stereotype is that we expect you
we
to
like
drink.
tea, and you know what we do? We really do like tea.
Well, tea's
it took me a
nice.
while, but
What's
nice.
your favorite? What's your tea? What's your flavor?
You know what? I'm a bit rogue, so I really like. An ex introduced me to breakfast tea with a slice of lemon. So like lemon iced tea, but hot.
Oh, but hot. That's actually not bad because breakfast tea's not too different from like Earl Grey. It's similar.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I wonder if I need to.
Oh, it's so good, so good.
I'm gonna try it. I'll put some lemon.
Yeah, try it. Yeah, literally, like do a slice and then put it in the mug, and it will float on the top. And then when you drink, and you put obviously hot water on the tea bag, when you drink it, you get the lemon. Oh, it's really, really good.
Yeah,
I haven't had one.
Yeah, I may have one right after this interview.
Yeah, same.
It's like I'm going to pause it now. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be back in about however long it takes to boil a kettle.
So I'm so happy to have you on the show, and I definitely want to talk Foundation because now it's over. So I can just say spoilers, and people can deal with what comes next because it's on them if they haven't watched yet.
Yeah, go watch it if you haven't, man. There will be spoilers.
Pause right now and go watch it. But I've been so lucky because I think it's had the best cast of characters, and we've talked with Kubbra Sait came on the show. She was so terrific because I love the little battles that the two of you had. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, she was wonderful. And Amy Tyger came.
Yes, I saw that one. I was listening to that one earlier today.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah. How'd we do?
Really great. Yeah, it sounded fabulous.
She had such a terrific role in it. And we were lucky enough, we're friendly with Alexander Siddig, and he was in the first episode. And of course, he's great in everything. So it's just, we've been, and then you're coming on the show. It's just good.
Oh, that's really cool. Like a really good collection as well of people from different parts of the show as well.
Yeah.
That's great.
Now we just got to get, Mr. Pace. He's got to come on.
Oh,
we'll cover all the bases. So let's start here. Before we talk Foundation, let's start here. Talk a little bit about what got you into acting. Why'd you want to get into entertainment?
So as a kid, I was actually really shy as a kid. I always forget this. But I remember we'd go to carnival or something and, Notting Hill Carnival, and I would very quietly walk at the back and be really scared and shy and not want to dance. So that was my kind of personality, but I was a very kind of observant kid, and I was always switched on. My creative kind of journey was at school. I was doing school plays and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. And then I started with music. Really, was the main thing that I kind of started on. So
nice.
So the first instrument I started was the violin in year 2. So that's about 7 or 8 years old. And I did violin, and I just kind of really enjoyed it, and I got quite good at it quite quickly, which was great. And then I kind of wanted to do some tap dancing, and so I did some tap dancing, and I did karate, and I did a bit of karate, and I was in orchestra, and I just kind of did lots of different things. I think I was trying my hand at lots of different skills growing up. I don't know how my mum did it. Like, she somehow managed to get me into all these classes and pay for all these classes, and it wasn't cheap. So, and we weren't a particularly well-off family. So how she did that, I will never know.
That's what moms do.
That's what mums do. They just make it happen. And she was amazing. And I basically, once I started dancing, I stopped doing music because it was clashing, which is often the case when you have a kid doing lots of different things. I stopped the karate, I stopped the music, I stopped doing tennis lessons. and I would dance for a good, what, how many hours was that? So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'd dance for like 5 hours each day.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then on a Saturday I'd also dance. So I was doing lots of stuff. But the thing that got me involved with acting in particular was we would do musicals and variety shows with dancing with the dance school, Deborah Day Theatre School Trust, which is based in East London. And she also had an agency which started up when I was there. I only started, I was 11, and normally kids start dancing when they're like 3, 4, if they're really going to be doing but I started at 11, which is quite late, but I was quite bright.
That is a little late.
Yeah, it's quite late. But I picked it up quite quickly, which I think is just a skill of mine, like something in my brain lets me pick it up quite quickly. And yeah, long story short, when I was 14, I was doing auditions. I was on the agency, and I got a part in a film, and it was my first job, and it was called Dustbin Baby, which is a Jacqueline Wilson book. Don't know if you guys know Wilson. Yeah. So the BBC were making a film of it, and I got a part in it, and I was on a set for like a week and a half or 2 weeks or something. I can't remember really now. And it was the best week of my life. And
that's pretty great for 14.
Yeah, I was pretty young, and I from that moment I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do then. This is going to be the main kind of path I take, and everything else feeds into it. I can learn how to do this random skill and use it if it comes up in a job, and that's why I did it. Because, and also you can't get it right. You can't get acting right. You can't.
That's right.
So it's a challenge, and it's always a challenge, and it's always going to be a challenge, and that's important, I think, for me to grow.
Well, it sounds like everything that you did growing up, all of it helped develop skills that you can use in acting.
Yeah, totally. Being musical and being the discipline that dance brings, the teachers, how they discipline you, and all of that stuff is really useful, and I've been able to kind of utilize it in every way on every job I've been on. Like, I've never not used those skills. It's great.
Do you sing?
I do sing, yeah, and I write and I sing, and I'm trying to write a musical at the moment, but it's like a hobby thing I'm doing at the moment. It's like writing. I'm trying to get some musical songs out there. We'll see.
I think that you should do that.
Yeah, I want to. I watched Tick Tick Boom on Netflix, and have you seen it?
I just the we call it the trailer. Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't know anything about it when like my mates put it on the TV, and I was watching it and I was like, oh my goodness, you can write a song about anything. Yeah. And I went back into my room that night and I just wrote a song, and I hadn't written in so long, because sometimes when things are really it's so busy in your head, it's hard to kind of get rid of it all and just write. But I just somehow stopped judging myself. I think that's really important when you're creating anything, is if you put it out there and then you go, oh, that's not very good, then you're not going to finish it, and that means you're not creating anything. So yeah,
that's true. I would go see your musical. I'll be there. Opening night, I'll be there.
I'll send you an email and we'll sort it out.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Unless you could, if you could write me in a non-dancing, speaking, singing, maybe, just maybe I'm just there dusting the floor or something, I could do that.
Or maybe I'll write like a podcast scene where the main character does a podcast.
There you go. Now, if I can't sing, but if you could write me a podcast scene where I was like singing the interview, back and forth, that could be interesting.
What about like a Hamilton style, like rap interview type thing?
Oh, that would probably be a disaster.
Oh no, come on, I'm sure you could.
Maybe I could do the like William Shatner talk singing that he used to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's funny.
Can you still play the violin?
I do. Yeah, I do still play the violin. Funnily enough, I just bought a new violin because I'd been using my mum's. So my whole family are quite musical. Yeah. And my mum played violin and piano, and my nan, so my mum's mum played violin and piano, and she's amazing on piano.
Nice.
But I've got literally, I'm looking at it right now. I've got my mum's old violin that she got in the 1970s.
Oh, wow.
And really like, it's like a Chinese made violin. So it's not the best quality, and it's like really old. It's like nearly 50 years old now for a violin. And I took it to a violin shop recently, and I was like, is this worth fixing? And they went, no, might as well get a new one. I was like, sorry, Mum, I'm getting a new one. So I bought a new one, and I've been playing it recently because
That's good.
I picked it back up again, amongst other instruments as well. I just get so much joy out of playing instruments.
What else do you play?
I started playing the violin, and I taught myself the piano.
Oh, very nice.
And I taught myself to play the guitar as well. So most of my songwriting is on guitar. I play the ukulele. I play the drums. I had to learn to play the drums for this pilot of a TV show that I did. And I had to learn in about 3 weeks while filming something else how to play the drums from scratch. Like a really
That's
good
kind of amazing.
Yeah, it was mad. And I managed to do it, and I can now play the drums. So that's great, because it's something I thought I could never do. Drums is really hard. And then over lockdown, I learned how to play the saxophone. I bought myself a saxophone.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, and I learned how to play saxophone.
So you took your lockdown isolation, learned the saxophone.
I learned the saxophone, yeah. And I tried to pick up my clarinet again. And I did clarinet for a couple of years at school, and I never really
You're like a whole symphony by yourself.
I do. I play lots of instruments, and I like to write, and I kind of, on the computer, you have like music production. Yeah. And I can write out a whole orchestration of a song, and I just love doing that. But I don't know that much about it. Like, I just do it by ear.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. It sounds like you play by ear, which is amazing.
I play by ear. Like, I can read music and all that stuff, but when it comes to kind of knowing the ins and outs, like, even still now on the guitar, I wouldn't be able to be like, oh, that's a G, like straight away. That note is F sharp. I'd have to like listen to it, and try it out for a bit.
So impressed with that. My stepson writes his own music, and he's kind of similar. He plays by ear, plays a lot of different instruments, and then he'll he'll record himself playing one instrument and lay it on top of him playing another instrument. So I mean, it turns out it sounds like a whole bunch of people playing. And I don't know, I'm very impressed with people that can do that.
I think it's nice. It's like you have your own friends to play with, creating your own little band.
Well, maybe you need to invite people over and just let them use some of your instruments.
Well, that's the thing. I was thinking about that because I remember seeing some friends and they had a band, and I was like, I want to be in a band. And like, well, I could just make one. I could just ask my friends to like be in a band with me, and that would be great. Maybe that is something I'll do next time I'm back home.
Great. That's pretty great. So do you speak any other languages?
I don't. That's one thing I wish I could have done. No, I don't. I try. I was learning Korean for a bit, but like writing it, not speaking it.
Yeah.
But that was just because I got interested in it, and then I kind of dropped.
I'll say that's an interesting choice. I like that.
Yeah, so Korean and Japanese, because they're similar but they're very, very different. So I was like the two different ones, and yeah, that was fun. But no, I don't speak any languages. My dad speaks like French patois, like broken French. He's from St. Lucia.
Yeah, nice.
And I know that for years, and I kind of was like. He randomly said this word once while we were all watching a film, and we all turned to him like, sorry, what was that? He goes, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, are you speaking another language? And my mum was just there like, I told you to teach them.
She's right.
That we didn't know French.
Yeah, French is such a pretty sounding language.
Oh, it's beautiful. I would love to learn French. It's never too late, I guess.
No, if you're still young, you could do it like that.
So
much harder when you get my age. No, it gets much harder. There's all that my brain is full of is just useless knowledge. It's really good for a podcast, but not real applicable anywhere else.
But I'm finding that now, though, like I'm 27 and I'm finding that it's harder for me to pick up skills. But I think because I was so kind of adept at doing it, just like not being able to do it quite as much now is like really weird. But maybe it's a normal amount. I don't know how my brain works.
I know. I guess we'll find out.
See, yeah. we'll see. Next time I'll be speaking French, hopefully. And if I'm not,
when you come back, if you have learned French, I will I will attempt to do the interview in French. It probably won't happen. Won't happen, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
It will be a hilarious interview, regardless.
Be like bonjour, salut,
and then I'll be done. You know, I could maybe, if I mumbled through the interview, maybe you would just kind of think you heard what I was saying.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Have you got to dance in a film or a TV show yet?
No, I don't think I have actually. I've danced on stage. I've done a lot more stage than TV. So I've done everything I've ever done. I've done like I've been able to use on stage. That's been cool, but not for TV actually. I've done like a bit of wrestling, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you have. Yeah, we need to figure that out. Yeah, you got you were in what was it? Fighting with Family.
Fighting with My Family, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the first kind of film I got after leaving drama school, and I just finished this long job on stage in New York, and I came back and I did that film, and it was great. It was nice. It wasn't too much pressure. It was a small part, and I was just like able to relax.
I think that's the first thing that I saw you in. You're really good. It's a really good film.
It's great.
Pretty good cast. I mean, if you look at the cast now, that's been a few years later, it's a really good cast.
Oh yeah,
maybe not as well known at the time, a few of them, but now big cast.
Yeah, it's really blown up, and it was a lovely group as well to like work with. Some really lovely memories from that set. Yeah,
that's pretty neat. Yeah, that's pretty neat. So you got to learn some wrestling moves?
Yeah, I did. I can't remember if I'd done any before that. I don't think I'd done much wrestling, but we had to do this little section where some people did some wrestling, and some of them had some lessons in it. And then they asked me to just go up and do some wrestling in one of the scenes. And I don't know if it's made it into the film. It might be a little shot, but I hadn't done anything. So I just had to learn it on the spot and learn this little like wrestling like maneuver with this other kid. And I just did it quickly because you had to. But you know, that was, thank goodness, because I was good at learning choreography and stuff. I could just do it quickly. But yeah, it was great.
I guess that makes sense. If you're used to dance choreography, I mean, wrestling's similar. You're still kind of, mapping out the moves. I never thought of that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But everything's like that. Like just being in a scene, and be learning where you need to stand in the scene for the camera to catch you. That's remembering where to stand, and that's basically choreography. So I think of it, most of it, as a dance, really.
That's pretty good. So the first time you were on a set, did somebody have to tell you where to stand, or did you just know?
I think it depends on the scene and the director, because sometimes they just let you do your thing and then they work around you. And sometimes it changes with everyone. And then sometimes they'll be like, okay, so this is how I see this scene. I want you to start there and do this. And then you walk over there and around that bit. And then you do this and you look over there. And it's like, okay, cool. And you have to be able to work with both of those. So you have to be able to offer up your own ideas. And then you have to be able to make someone else's idea work for you, even if you had a completely different idea for the scene. Because you can't just trample all over it, because there's usually a reason why they want it to be like that. It could be mirroring another scene that they haven't even filmed yet.
Right.
It could be so they get a specific thing in the shot that's behind you. It could be anything. It could be for reflections. It could be so many different reasons why you need to just stand in that spot. And if you just keep asking, it's annoying. If you just take it and just stand there.
In my head, there's all these little X's that people are moving to. Is there really?
There's like, so it's not X's, but they do this thing where they do like a straight line of tape and then a line down the middle, and that's where your 2 feet go, and that's your mark. And so they'll set the scene, and then once they have your mark, they'll put down your mark on the floor, and then you leave and your stand-in comes in if you have stand-in. Yeah. So it's someone who's around the same height, same skin color, who stands there so they can light it while you're getting ready to do the actual scene.
Did you have a stand-in for foundation?
I did. Yes, I did have a stand-in for foundation. We had quite a few different stand-ins because we were in different countries all over the place. So
right.
I had a different stand-ins, and sometimes my stunt double, who was also my body double and picture double, because she was a great match, Jade. Sometimes she would be my stand-in, but not often, because she had other stuff to do.
I think I need a stand-in for the podcast. If I had a stand-in for the podcast, I could have run and got tea.
Yeah, you could have got tea. That's so true. So could I. Goodness me. I don't need them.
That now you've given me the idea. People will be watching this podcast and they're like, did something happen? I was like, no, he's still standing there, and that'll be my double.
You could get like a cardboard cutout and put it on the chair, and then you could still be talking, but just making yourself a cup of tea.
The quality would probably not change with a cardboard.
No, you've got such a lovely face. I wish people could see it. People listening could see it.
You're so nice. You're so nice. I'm going to use that clip and just play it over and over.
Please do. You're welcome to. I mean it sincerely.
That's very. Now I'm not sure.
No, I meant it. That's a funny thing. Like, people, whenever you say you mean it, like, people just don't believe you.
Yeah, then they're like, I don't know. So you had a part in Les Misérables?
I did. Yeah.
Was that the PBS one?
It was. It might have been. I don't know what channel it was on.
I think over here it showed on PBS. I watched that one, but it's been a while back, so I didn't go back and check. But I did see it. What was your role?
So my role, I played a character called Matt's Lot. It was a very small role again, and that was one of those shows where I auditioned for some of the bigger roles. And you can't always be right for these things, but then the casting came back and said, we loved you and we'd love to just get you in the show, and would you like to play this role? So it's a smaller role, and she is in the bit, it's like episode 5, but it's the part where they're making what was it called, the big thing with all the furniture. I've forgotten the word. I've forgotten the word. Anyway, they make this big thing with the furniture to like stop the soldiers from getting to them, basically.
Oh, barricade.
Barricade. There we go.
Yeah, I know exactly the scene you're talking about. I think.
Making the barricade, and I am the person in charge of the pub that they're all based out of.
Ah, very nice. Okay.
I've got like purple hair in it.
Yes, you did.
Like a corset, and that was a really cool experience. There's a funny story with that. The filming of that, which I don't know if you'll want to hear, but it's like
I do.
When we filmed it, we were doing a lot of night shoots, and it was on a street in a place called Sedan, which is super close to Belgium, but like still in France.
Right.
And we were doing night shoots, and there was a tummy bug going around. So it must have been like in the mud or something, because it was quite wet at points. So the mud must have had some kind of little tummy bug or virus or something in it, bacteria.
Gross.
People were like dropping like flies with this tummy bug. And I think it was just before the weekend, and we had more scenes to shoot on the Monday. But I got this tummy bug.
Oh no!
I know exactly how it happened as well, because I had a biscuit. I ate a biscuit and I didn't wash my hands, and I messed up because I didn't wash my hands.
Oh yeah, that's how it gets you.
Yeah, the mud on the props and things must have got in there and got into my mouth. Anyway, I ate this biscuit, and I was so unwell. Like, I spent the whole weekend in my hotel room, just like I had 3 apples to eat and water, and everybody else had to go to Belgium for the weekend. And I couldn't travel, so I just stayed there, and it's really gross, but like I lost like a lot of weight over a weekend.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It was crazy. And then on the Sunday, I was well enough to like go outside and get some food, and there was a carnival in this tiny little town.
Of course,
a European celebration carnival or something. And I went back to set on the Monday, and my corset didn't fit me anymore because I'd lost so much weight, so they had to like make it really, really small on me.
Probably fit better in the time period though.
Well, yeah, to be honest, it probably did. Yeah, but it was super baggy. Like the corset was too big for me on the Monday, which is just absolutely crazy that one can lose that much.
There is nothing worse than a stomach bug.
It was miserable. Like so many people dropped with it, and it was really unpleasant. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
No.
But aside from that, filming it was really fun, and I was with lots of friends, and it was a great experience. And at the same time, I was learning to play the drums, like I said earlier. So I was like learning to play this particular song on the drums in my hotel room to film that a couple of weeks after getting home. So it's crazy.
Pretty great.
Yeah, it was cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, at least you made use of the time.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I was sitting there like dying trying to play drums.
Yeah, I'm impressed with that, because when I get sick, even just a little bit sick, I'm down. I'm in bed. You know, I don't want anybody bothering me, but I want them to check on me, because everybody needs to know that I'm sick. Yeah, you know, they need to feel sorry for me, but I don't like to be touched or. You know, and I like to be kind of on my own, so I can just be miserable on my own. You know, bring me a little bit of ginger ale or something, but that's it.
No. That makes sense. It's nice to have a cuddle when you're ill, but still,
that's right.
Go away. Go away.
That's right. Go away. You know, maybe a quick cuddle and then go.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, so we have to talk about Foundation. So I saw where you had not read the books ahead of time. But maybe had done some reading once you got the part. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. I read the books. Once I kind of got the part, I felt I kind of had permission to read it. You know, because if I started reading it before getting it, I would have been really upset.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a very. I think I read it. I was probably in middle school, but it was very dense.
Very dense.
That is heavy sci-fi.
It's really heavy sci-fi, and I've never read anything kind of close to that. So I was, in for quite a ride. But I had the kind of advantage, or the little, I had the little secret of knowing the show and what that was going to be. So I could find there was like this new kind of way of reading it, and I was, it was a great experience actually reading them. I'm still reading them now, even like back when the show came out. I was doing interviews and I was saying that I was on Prelude, and I have not read one page further since then, because I have so much to do, and I just haven't. I'm going to start again, I think, once we get back. I
mean, you're a whole band by yourself. There's no time to read.
I can't. I'm writing them bloody music.
Maybe you could do the audio books.
Yes, I could. Though I can't really. I'm not really an audio learner, so I kind of drift off when I.
Yeah. That won't work.
I can do podcasts because that's different. That's like listening to a conversation. But audio books, I can't.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I like to hold a book in my hand. Yeah, I'll listen to podcasts. I don't mind listening to conversations, but I have trouble just listening to material.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know why.
Maybe I'm really good at music and just haven't discovered that yet. We're similar in that way. Maybe.
Pick up a set of drumsticks, and you never know.
Oh, I know. I know. So talk a little bit. How did you get the role? Because this is a big role. I mean, for us, one of our favorite characters on the show.
Oh, that's cool.
Such a badass. That's why it was so. Your little battles with Kubbra, you both were just such badasses, and I was like, I was so worried that your character wasn't going to make it to the end, but you did.
Yeah, I did. Thank goodness.
But yes, how did the role come about?
The role came about like any other audition. So it was like, oh, there's a character, this character we're going up for, da. Now they didn't use the real names. Sometimes when they do big shows, they don't use the real names of the characters in the audition. They're tricky. All secret. So it was this character, I can't remember what her name was. I learned the lines. Went to the audition. I got a recall, and then I had my recall. And I'm not going to make this too long, but it's interesting. Like, I had my recall, and I met David Goyer, who is the showrunner one of the writers, and I met Rupert, who is the director of the pilot episode,
Right.
and Lucinda Sison, who is the casting director. So I went into this room and I was wearing a purple jumpsuit, like a denim jumpsuit. My hair was like in this cool mohawk thing, and I had black on. So I felt really cool, and I felt like myself. I was very much being myself. I was auditioning for Gail.
Oh, you were?
I was. So my first 2 auditions were actually for Gail. And during the second audition, I was sitting there listening to David talking about the scene. And I knew that this character wasn't right for me. I just knew that I didn't have the, I don't know what it is that she's got, the quiet confidence that Gail has. But like kind of wide-eyed, view of the world. I didn't quite have that in me.
Right.
So I was like, this isn't going to work. But David stopped mid-sentence while I was explaining something and said, you're screaming another character at me. I'm so sorry. Let me just size for Graydon, and Graydon was the name of Salvor.
Yeah.
Code name. And then he was like, look, let's finish these scenes, but then I want you to learn this scene and come back and do it. And I was like, cool. And it was a long scene. And I went off, sat in a park, learned.
Did that make you feel better because you kind of knew the role wasn't right, or were you like, oh man, did that stress you out?
It made me feel better because I definitely didn't think I was going to get the part that I was going up for.
Yeah.
I was still confident, but I didn't think that it was right for me, and I didn't feel good doing it. And as soon as he kind of stopped me, he just stopped his sentence and he said that, I was like, oh, maybe there's something that is right for me in this show, because I did have a good feeling about the show. I just I wasn't in the right role.
That's right.
And they hadn't even started auditioning Salvor yet, so they were auditioning Gail first. So I
was already thinking about you for the part. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it was a great sign. So that was really cool. And it came out of nowhere, and I learned the scene. I went in and I did it. And it's the scene where I'm interrogating Farah with the flipping the coin. Yeah. So I had to film that in an hour in London, and I did it. And then, long story short, we had this like test week. We all met, loads of us were there auditioning for the roles, and I got the part. And that was how it happened.
Great. Did you actually flip the coin when you auditioned?
I did flip the coin. Yeah, I didn't roll it across my knuckles. I hadn't learned how to do that yet. But I did flip the coin and catch it as much as I could. That's
one of a zillion reasons why I couldn't act. I would stress out so bad about screwing up the coin flip.
Oh no. Well, I tell you, some of the most nerve-wracking moments on set was having to do that coin flip and do it on the camera and flip it and catch it, or roll it across my knuckles.
Yeah, that's an impressive skill. If you learn to do that.
Yeah, I had to learn how to do that for the show. That was fun actually, and now I can just do it easy peasy. So that's good.
Have you started filming season 2?
We have started filming season 2. We started in like October, November time. But my character, I haven't been filming. So some parts of the show have been filming in the studio, but then come January, we're all going to be everything's going to be moving.
Can you move fast enough that we can have episodes by February?
Really? I mean, is that what you're hoping for? Because that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. That's we're probably talking next fall, probably.
I have no idea, to be honest. Yeah. I mean,
if we're lucky. If we're lucky.
Yeah, if we're lucky, who knows? But yeah, it'll be quite a long season 2, so looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to going back and filming. I can't wait, honestly.
Well, I'm so excited to see the interaction with you and Gail, because it's kind of fun that you're basically the same age.
I know, yeah.
The whole time. That's kind of neat, but it's a mother-daughter thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and they've got such different experiences of life, but it weirdly similar. And we'll get to see them kind of, get to know each other, and it's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And Lou and I as well. So Lou Lobel, who plays Gail.
Yeah.
We get to work together because we haven't really worked together in front of the camera. Behind the camera, we spend loads of time with each other, but in front of the camera, not really.
Yeah,
so
not yet.
Not yet. So that's going to be really cool to kind of work out that dynamic. We have never done it before. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And she's Gail. That was a good choice. So they did good with the casting.
Oh, they did great with the casting. I think that the casting for this show is like incredible. They did such a good job, and everyone who came onto it as well. Like Tanya Miller. Do you know who Tanya Miller?
What was her role?
She played Halima.
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course.
So she came into the show in the new year, and she was saying, I remember her saying to us, like, the casting on the show is incredible. Everyone's been cast so well. And it was true. I agreed with it, and it's lovely to see other people say that as well, because you never know when you're in it, but
it is. It feels like there's rapport, with the characters, and that's even the ones that are kind of going against each other. It just feels right. It feels like, if a space opera could actually happen, it feels like it could happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like with me and Kubbra, for instance, we were playing enemies, but and at times, on set, off set, we'd be having a bloody great time, and then sometimes, we'd butt heads in work, but that's just how it works. Like, you have to compromise and work out how best to work with someone else. But that was of course that was going to happen, because we were pretending to hate each other all the time. So every now and then we'd be like, oh, you're annoying me, and it's like, but then we'd love each other. So we made kiss and make up.
She was very scary in that role. Did you find yourself taking a step back at times?
Only a couple of times. So yes is the answer to that.
She's such a nice lady and
she's lovely,
pretty lady, but in that role, she's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. She definitely got a bit of her kind of manic energy, made use of it, which is great, because that's what the character needs, and that's why she got the part. She was perfect for it. Perfect. Although
your role, you're very steely. You're kind of you're very firm and like I wouldn't want to cross you once you'd made your mind up.
No,
be like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, neither would I. It's funny though, because we see Salvo like that in the show, but the majority of the show, she's trying to survive a crisis. So she's like, she's not being her normal self. She's very much in survival mode. So I wouldn't want to cross her when she's in survival mode. But I feel like she's not like that really. Like, she's kind of nice and funny and quirky, but we don't get to see that. And maybe we get to see it second season. Who knows?
Or maybe this is probably just me as a fan putting this, on what was happening. It probably was not happening at all. But it seemed to me like some of the mannerisms that Lou was doing, that you had a few of those that you were kind of mimicking a little bit, or vice versa. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. There are a couple of things that's written in that in the script and in the directions that were very much mirroring. A couple of times I tried to copy Lou's cry face, but I don't know.
She did have to cry a little bit.
She has to cry quite a lot, bless her. And I didn't often cry, but I when I did, I tried to kind of just emulate that kind of vibe of that she would do. But I think the reason why that you might have seen that is because Lou and I spent a lot of time with each other outside of filming. So from day one of filming, we were training together in the gym, and we were living basically right next to each other. At one point we were sharing a house in Ireland, and we were in each other's pockets. So, and now, like, we've us at charades, forget about it. You don't want to face us at charades, because we will beat you like so bad. Because we can just can finish each other. We just know.
That's what we need. Our next episode, we get Lou. I'll bring my son on, and we play charades. We'll have a little contest.
I feel like we would win. Honestly, I feel like we would win. We are so good at it. We're so good at it.
All right. All right, the challenge has been thrown.
Maybe that's what you saw though, because maybe that's what it is that because we would just work, we would together.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Comparisons from your friends and stuff like that, and I think maybe that might have been it. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. What kind of training did you have to do? Were you doing weights? Were you doing like fight choreography?
We were doing like strength training, and we wanted to kind of, we're both quite well built anyway, and myself being a dancer and Lou being a swimmer, so we were already quite healthy.
I knew she was a swimmer. She had to be for that role.
Yeah, she was very much a swimmer before doing the role, and she was incredible in some of those scenes. Like I remember standing and watching her doing them, and like through this tank, and she just absolutely blew me out of the water.
It just looked natural in the water.
Yeah, she's incredible, and I'm less so. So that's fun. We'll see if that comes into play. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
I kind of hope it does now.
Yeah, I won't say anything else. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying now. Yes, we trained. So we did a lot of gym work, and most of it was because like my character needed to look like somebody who like got up in the morning and lifted tires and rocks and worked out to be ready for whatever it was that might come along. So, and I needed to be strong as well for just the simple things I had to do. I had to do a lot of running. I had to do a lot of heavy lifting of like the props, like the gun that I hold that Salvo had, really heavy. And I had to just build up my strength for that. So a lot of it actually was just so I could do the role and do the filming of it, because you see it once, don't you? But we do it about 10 times. So it's
when you have to, I would assume the gun would have to have some weight to it, or else it would look ridiculous. It'd be you'd have to really act if it was very light.
You have to really give it weight, which is almost impossible. So it did have a bit of weight, and there was a lighter one, but it didn't look as good apparently. So just the light piece of it, like it wasn't as shiny or something. So I often would carry the heavy one, but I got used to it after a while.
Strength training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Boom.
Did you have a favorite scene that you got to film?
That's a good question. Yeah, and it's it's funny, it's actually an A to B scene, and I call the A to B scenes are the scenes that I like, where you just run from one place to another. That's what I call them, because I had so many of those so many scenes where I'm just running by myself to a location, but there's this one scene where there's like loads of people in the town center of Terminus, and Salvo runs through with a gun, and she looks up and the tower like explodes, and then she's back, and then she runs into the tower. That scene was so fun to film because there were loads of people, and everybody had their choreography of where they were going to run and everything, and all I had to do was leg it down this like path, and I'm running in between people and going, move quick, get out of the way, and like running. And it was just so like visceral and felt so real, and it was really, really fun to film. And I had this like dance with the camera guy, and us two had really worked out a good way of working together, so it was just a really fun scene. And it's maybe that's not kind of like what one would expect to hear, you'd think it would be like a really intense scene acting with someone else, but I just really liked running in between people and really being in the moment.
That's kind of cool. It probably got your juices flowing.
I really felt in the moment, and like just I could feel what was happening, and I didn't have to work hard at all to feel the fear or to feel the shock and the urgency of it, because I was running so fast. I was allowed to run fast.
Were you running fast, or did you feel like you were running fast?
I was running fast. I really was running fast. And normally you have to slow down when you're running on camera, because they have to follow you, but they were going to catch me at certain points, so I could run as fast as I wanted, and so I legged it. It was so great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But afterwards, were you like,
Oh gosh, I was absolutely exhausted. Yeah, I was exhausted. And they were like, can you do another one? And I'd be like, yes. And then at the point where I couldn't, they already knew and they were like, no, we're not doing any more. I was like, oh yeah, great. Not doing any more. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I had this, it's not really related, but it's kind of a funny story. When I was in high school, I played baseball and ran track, but I got it in my head that they needed me on the football team, the American football team. They did not. So the first day of practice, and I ran track, so I thought I was in pretty good shape. They ran sprints, like, I don't know, 40-meter type of sprints, but they did it like 40 or 50 times, just kept in all the gear, the football gear.
Yeah.
And nobody told me that everybody was running them half speed. So I'm just booking it every time. And so each one, I'm like, I'm the fastest guy on the team. Nobody can keep up. They're all running half speed. So after like 20 or 30, I'm dying and I'm struggling. And somewhere in there, I just passed out.
Oh no.
That was my one and only. No. That was it for me. I was like, maybe football's not for me.
Oh, wow. But if you'd been running half speed, do you think you would have been okay?
I think I could have completed them. I still think I'd have been tired. It was a lot of sprints.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that was my one day of football practice.
That reminds me of doing football, but like soccer, as you would call it. Here, and like they were making a girls team at the school, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And there's me thinking I'm gonna be a great footballer, and I was absolutely dreadful. I'm really bad at football. I'm not that bad, but at the time I wasn't great. And I just didn't go back. No, never doing that again.
I know, because you always have that thing where you're like, once I join, I can't quit. I got to do the whole thing. And I was just like, no, I'm done. I'm going back to baseball and track.
This is not part of my story.
That's right. This was not for me. Obviously, I have made a huge mistake.
That's funny. Yeah.
So will we see you and your guy get back together next season?
Oh, I don't know. I can't answer that because it's a spoiler.
I was trying to trick you into it, but
yeah, no, yes, I can't really say anything. So I'm not going to say.
We're hoping.
Say everything. It's been a good amount of time though. So remember, there's been a time jump.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's been a while.
138 years have passed from when Salvor leaves Terminus to when.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. You never know. Maybe he got stuck in some type of animation too. We don't know, but.
No idea. Maybe. I don't know. Can't say anything.
I think you know more than you're telling.
I do have to learn my lines, so. But no, I don't think so. I don't think we'll be seeing. Yeah. It's been a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe a flashback.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We're gonna find out, I think, in February is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. When they come out in February. Which they won't be, because we'll still be filming. That's funny.
So I know we got to wrap up, but I wanted to ask you about, I saw you were in a movie, or you're working on a movie with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anything you can tell me about that one?
So it's with A24, which is a really great, production company. We've finished filming. I'm not sure when it's going to be out, but yeah, it's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, with Lola Pettigrew, who is amazing. They're super talented. Arinze Keene, who is also super talented. And I mean, I can't really say much about it apart from that it's about, this mother and daughter who go on this like adventure. And there's a macaw parrot involved, and
Nice.
I'm in it, and there's four of us main cast, and it's a really, really lovely film, and I'm really looking forward to people seeing it. It's really different from Foundation as well. It was such a lovely thing to be able to do, finishing Foundation and then going straight into that. Having played a basically an action hero in a sci-fi show to playing something pretty normal was really nice.
That's
really
pretty
different
nice. That's pretty nice. It's called Tuesday, I think.
Or Tuesday, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
I'm excited for it to come out. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah. No, I was excited when I love her and
Oh, she's amazing. She's incredible.
Yeah, and it sounds like it sounds like the type of movie I would like.
Yeah. Julia is just, I learned so much from watching her. So I can't wait to go back to work, on Foundation and bring what I've learned with me. That's something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, very nice. Is there a genre that you haven't done that you would like to try?
I'd really like to do a musical, like a proper musical, whether it be filmed or on stage. I'm not sure, but I'd love to do a musical on stage, actually. Like, that would be really cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'd love to do something like that, or like a Western, like something. Regina King. I always think of Westerns when I think of Regina King, and I'd love to do something like that. That would be really great.
She was so good. I can't remember the name of it that just came out on Netflix a few months ago.
I can't remember. There
She was so good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's what
I can't. Yeah, maybe it. It was so good though. She was terrific in it.
Yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. That's one person I'd love to meet. Her, Viola Davis, and Meryl Streep.
Oh, well, I'll call them up for you. No problem. I can make that happen. Maybe they'll play charades with us.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll still be, but we'll go easy. Maybe.
If you're in a Western, I think you have to have the mohawk.
Oh yeah, for sure. I missed that mohawk. I liked that mohawk. I used to have like the side shaved and everything. And
no, I'm jealous of that. There's just not much I can do with this mess. Not much going on. Now, back in the 80s, though, when I had 80s hair.
Mm-hmm. Did you have an afro? Did you have a mohawk or a fro? Or
I didn't. No. I had like long. It's kind of like the Sean Cassidy feathered look. I don't know if you know who Sean Cassidy is, but kind of the. It was probably more a 70s haircut that I was wearing in the 80s, but I didn't appreciate it. I took it for granted, and then one day gone.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. I'd totally mohawk it up if I could do it now.
I mean, you probably still could. You can get like wigs and put it on, stick it on.
Well, that's true. But it just
wouldn't. Really wanted to.
If I really wanted to do it.
Halloween one year, you should get like a mohawk wig.
When you finish writing your musical, I could be the janitor with the mohawk, just working in the background.
Right. I need to make a note of it so I remember.
Yeah, make a note. I think that could be a hit.
Janitor podcast guy.
Podcast. Oh, that's right. I wasn't janitoring. I was podcasting.
Yeah, you were the podcast guy who was like.
Oh, I could be like a punk podcaster that sings to his guests.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, that would be perfect.
Could I be a podcaster that like just screams at my guests? Like I'm just angry.
Yeah, that would work. And you just scream "Khan" at them.
Yeah, there you go. There's the role. I'm in.
And there's a lot of words that rhyme with it, so that'll be easy.
That's right. We could take. My guess is that once that gets out there, you're probably talking spinoff. I mean, all the characters get spinoffs, so. That's right. I'm just talking about that. Yeah. Well, Leah, thank you so much. It's such an honor to talk with you. I'm such a big fan. You're terrific.
Thank you. That was so lovely. That was absolutely lovely to chat to you.
Oh, it's very nice of you to say that, and especially in a very nice, London accent. That's nice.
Which is so different from Salvador. People always kind of go, "Oh, what?" It's a very
I know. You're really good at changing the accent. Thanks. I would have had no idea.
That's good. That's great.
That's really good. Next time. Okay, so we've got too many next times lined up.
Too many next
third or fourth time. Down the road, we'll switch accents. I'll do your accent. You do my West Virginia accent.
West Virginia accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you can do it. You can totally do it.
I'm just being annoying and I'm copying.
No, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Thank you so much for coming on. Before you go though, anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
At the moment, no, though there is a fun podcast called Adventure Department, which is made by some awesome people in London, and they'll be putting out new episodes soon for season 2 of their, like, every episode is a kind of just a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Like 3 guys going on an adventure, and we're all mates, and I've kind of been part of those for the last little while. So it's called Adventure Department, and it's a really fun podcast. So that'll be coming up at some point near Christmas. So that'll be fun.
Oh, very nice. So soon,
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, last thing.
Yes.
Where can we find you on social media?
So I'm not on Twitter anymore. But I am on Instagram, and it's just _Leah_Harvey_.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I think it's funny. A lot of people are moving away from Twitter.
Yeah, I had a bit of a thing recently where I kind of stepped away from social media a bit, because it's very overwhelming, and it's not necessary for the kind of career that I want,
That's right.
So I stepped away, and I just didn't want to. I wanted to live my life through my eyeballs and not through my screen. So I'm trying to do
I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that a bit more, and it's been really good. It's been really good. But my Instagram is still there. I've kind of left it there as a museum of Leah. But
and you might want to throw some things up there.
Exactly. I might want to throw some things up there at some point. So it's good that it's there, but I'm not as attached to it as I used to be. And I think it's a good exercise to step away for a bit if you are feeling overwhelmed,
Yeah, I agree. I think, and Instagram's a good one to keep. That's it's much nicer on Instagram.
Yeah, it's visual, where Twitter is.
It is very visual.
No words, and words can hurt more than pictures.
I know people on Twitter can get rough because they hide
Twitter
behind
is
us.
interesting.
Yeah. They, because there's no real consequences.
No, there aren't.
Well, thank you so much. This has been the best. And now, would you tell me you were making? Aren't you making a roast or something?
We're making a roast dinner. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Chicken and all that stuff.
It's lunchtime over here. I'm hungry.
Well, you got to go make a roast lunch then.
Okay. Fair.
I'm afraid that's the next best thing you can get.
If I left right now, could I be there in time for dinner?
I reckon so, because it takes a long time to make a roast dinner.
Yes. Okay. All right, Leah, hold on 1 second. All right, so that was Leah Harvey, who is terrific. Absolutely I've enjoyed everybody that I've talked to from Foundation. It is an amazing cast, and her role and the way that she emotes and lets you see the emotion on her face even before she says anything. Oh, she's such a good actress. Just absolutely love that, and she's just lovely. Really enjoyed that interview. I hope you guys did as well. Appreciate that you keep coming back to us week after week. I definitely don't take that for granted. There's so many things and podcasts and things that can take up your time. It means a lot that you come back here, and I hope that we're giving you quality interviews and content that you'll enjoy. I'm very proud of the guests that we've had on the show. I think we've got a good variety, a lot of interesting, fun, talented people. So I hope you enjoyed that. Leo is right there at the top of it. Just amazing. If you haven't done so yet, you can help us out on our YouTube channel, Meisterkhan Pod. Please subscribe. That would really help us out. You can find all 310 or so episodes, audio and video, on our website, meisterkhan.com. There's a fun, geeky blog from Brett. It's well written. It's funny. You'll love it. You'll love it. If we're doing anything in studio, that'll be on there. If we're going to any conventions or if we're holding any live events, that'll be on there as well. So check that out, meisterkhan.com. Till next time, thank you guys so much. Bye, everybody.